Success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. That's one of my favorite quotes from Tony Robbins. And today I'm going to talk more about it. Hi, I'm Gavin, and if you're new here, I help solo entrepreneurs who feel isolated in their business to feel a sense of connection and community around them. So, back to that quote. What does that even mean, and what's that all about? Now, as a person who is success driven, ever since I was a kid, playing video games, sports, even turned college and my academics into somewhat of a game. The grades was the score and all that kind of stuff. I'm driven by success. The opposite of success is failure. And to think about the fact that you can actually aim at something and be successful at it, and then somehow still fail, drew my curiosity. So I went to, dive deeper into this. If we don't know how to be successful in a way that creates that type of fulfillment, then we can actually have all the external trappings of success. You have all the income you want, the business you want as an entrepreneur, all the clients you want, the lifestyle you want, traveling the world, having everything on the outside. But internally, you don't really feel like you're successful because you don't really have that fulfillment. If you do figure out how to be successful and have that inner fulfillment, then you can have all that external success and internally feel successful at the same time. And that's what I'm trying to tackle, or that's why I aim to tackle today. So back to the quote. Success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. So we all have our definitions of success. For some people, it might be to make X amount of dollars a year. For some people, it might be having the type of freedom that they want to travel the world and to not be location dependent. They can be location independent. They can work from wherever they choose to. For others, it may be having the type of relationships and friends they want. Whatever your definition of success is, you are motivated to go and achieve it step by step, putting in the effort and seeing your progress along the way. But then you might ask, what is fulfillment and why is that different? Well, to me, fulfillment has to do with the motivation behind why we want what we want. It is that kind of inner feeling, that type of, it's almost like this intangible reward. I like to call it intrinsic motivation. Having the fancy car, the house, or, making X amount of dollars a year. That's the external motivation, the extrinsic motivation, which is good. We all need something to aim at and some kind of target to hit. So Daniel Pink and Edward Deci both wrote books about intrinsic motivation. And they kind of hint at the same things, but they go about it in different ways. So for Daniel Pink, he says the three elements of intrinsic motivation are mastery, purpose, and autonomy. And then Edward Deci talks about relatedness or relationships, competence or mastery, and of course autonomy. So they're kind of talking about the similar things, but autonomy and some got mastery or competence. But the difference is purpose. One says purpose and one says relationships. So before I go into deeper, let me actually define what I consider to be intrinsic motivation, because I feel like that's where fulfillment really comes from. So intrinsic motivation is kind of like it's doing things for its own sake. It's doing something because the act of doing it is fulfilling in and of itself. It's kind of like a kid who is at a skate park and there's no goal, there's no scoreboard, there's no thing to aim at. The goal is just to be on the skateboard, to be in the skate park, just doing the thing. And they could be there for hours, just being in a state of flow, just going at it. Or it could be a dancer who just wants to dance just to dance. Sometimes I hear about athletes that an athlete might, like a baseball team or a basketball team, they will work really hard to achieve a championship. And, let's say that they actually win. Like now, you have the Chicago Bulls with that Netflix documentary, The Last Dance, and they can be successful. I'm not saying this is about the Bulls, but any team. They're winning the championship. They've gotten their goal. And imagine the confetti's going, the music is out, everyone's screaming, they're holding up the trophy, champagne's popping. And they say a few days after that, the players are depressed. The winners. And you might ask why. And we go back to intrinsic motivation. They're depressed because the game's over. They're not on the field anymore. They're not in the game. To be on the field in the activity that feels meaningful and that they're passionate about and that they're competent about and they have their teammates with them, all that's the fun of it. The success, the actual scoreboard or the trophy in hand, it's great and we like to aim at it, but it's the actual being in the sport that you love with the people that you love doing it with. To me, that is part of the magic and the mastery of what we're all trying to achieve here. So to me, that's how we add the fulfillment to the success that we're trying to aim at. I've seen many of millionaires and entrepreneurs and CEOs who have the fancy house and the wonderful cars and the lifestyle that they think they want. But I think it was J. Cole that says there's no point having that wonderful big house if no one's in there with you. There's no point traveling the world having this freelance lifestyle entrepreneurship thing if you're the only one there, if you're doing it alone and there's no one meaningful to share it with, if you don't have those meaningful connections with others. Tony Robbins and Esther Perel, they have another quote that I love, and it's that the quality of your life is determined by the quality of your relationships. And not only is the relationship you have with the activity that you're doing, that meaning, that purpose, that mastery, that competence of what you're doing, but also the people you're doing it with, your teammates, your partners, your collaborators, your friends. To me, that is the part that I choose to aim at. That's the part that I choose to go to work on and help entrepreneurs create. Because there's many ways to achieve fulfillment. I understand that. But for me, the hill that I choose to die on, the passion and the purpose that I choose to live by, are the relationships and the people that we do things with, along with our passion-driven, flow, capsulated work. And I want that for you too. So as a takeaway, I want you to think about whatever work that you're doing as a solopreneur, as an entrepreneur, freelancer. Think about the people you're doing it with. Think about those that you want to be there with you and really hold them up as part of your success. And know that you can't do it alone. Yes, you may be doing your work alone. Of course, you're good at what you do. Think about the type of people that you want to be there with you. That when you think about the lifestyle that you want to create for yourself, think about the people that are going to be there with you. It's funny because I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs about this, and they just want the success. They just see what's on their vision board, and they forget the people aspect of it. I don't want that to be lost in your passion, in your drive, in your goal for the external success. I want you to have the relationships as well. I want that inner success as you go and achieve that outer success. The lifestyle and the relationships that you value most. So until next time, thank you for being with me for another togetherness conversation. And until next time, peace.